On this week's episode, we're gonna make some noise. We're at the dyno shop and we're gonna be dynoing some engines. We're here today at the engine shop dynoing our motors. So we dyno them for multiple reasons. The first one is we gotta properly break them in. The second one to ensure with the oil pan change and everything, there's no oil leaks, and it also allows us to tune the carburetor. But the most important one is to make sure the horsepower and torque is identical. So they're all within like 3 or 4 horsepower. But let's say we had one that was down like 10, 15 horsepower, we'd be like, well, there's something wrong with that one. We can't put in our S1 car because that car would have a huge disadvantage. This is the controls to the dyno. So on this computer screen, it tells you the horsepower, the torque, the fuel pressure, how many gallons per minute the carburetor is burning, the exhaust temps, everything, to make sure that every cylinder is running properly and that they're all tuned identical. So once we print out the reading, if there's one of them that's not the same as the last 16 or 17, whatever amount we did, we know there's a problem and we can tune it to make sure it's correct. We're now back in the shop with all these beautiful motors from the dyno shop. Now we gotta prep them to go in the car. We gotta install the bell housing, the clutch, the starter, the carburetor, make all the oil lines. So let's check out that process.
First, I install the clutch button to the engine. Then I slide on the clutch basket, including the plate and the disc, followed by the flywheel. Then I tighten all the nuts.
So this is a lightweight triple disc clutch. The reason we use the smallest clutch possible is rotating weight robs a lot of horsepower from the motor. So the way it works is you have the button that's bolted onto the crank, and then the friction disc get pressured onto the button, and that's what actually drives the input shaft of the transmission, putting power to the rear tires. Now, it's called a triple disc clutch, so you actually have 3 of these discs for maximum pressure. So what happens when you push the clutch, you push in the spring, which releases tension, which stops the motor from driving the transmission and allows the motor to run without trying to drive the car.
The last thing I do is install the bell housing. That contains the throw bearing and the starter.
We now have the motor sitting in the car. That's all the time we have this week. So next week, we're gonna show you how we put the carburetor on, the exhaust, the rad, oil lines, and we might have gotta fire it up and make some noise. Now our challenge series is for novice drivers who wanna come out and learn and have some fun playing with race cars. So it's a really important factor in our program. So we're about to introduce you to 2 new guys running our challenge series. Let's check out their video.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian Weavers.
And I'm Lee Howarth. Brian and I are going to be racing in the TD Wealth Peak Concrete number 66 car in the Avion Motorsports RS1 Challenge Series.
We look forward to seeing everybody soon. Shake and bake.
I'm really excited to have Lee and Brian join us this season in the Challenge Series with their number 66 Peak Concrete TD car. Now, I know both of them have done some laps at Area 27 in the RS1 car, but neither have ever been to an oval. So in like 5 or 6 weeks when we get down to Penticton, I get to spend the day with them and show them how to be oval drivers. So that's gonna be some fun. Stay tuned for next week. We're gonna finish the engine, hopefully start to make some noise, and we're gonna build the entire electrical harness from scratch.